Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay. Well, welcome to our first session, and I believe this is being recorded. Yes, it's being recorded. I hope it lasts for more than 15 minutes. I'm not sure how that goes, but we'll see. Welcome to Inclusion, and I'm Dr. K. So why don't we just take a few minutes to introduce ourselves? Sarah. Unmute thyself.
I got it. My name is Sarah. I'm going to be a senior, and I'm studying elementary education, special education with a minor in elementary math.
Okay, welcome. And I liked your Save the World video.
Thanks.
Okay, next. Sammy.
I'm Sammy. I am an elementary ed and early childhood ed, and I will be student teaching in the fall.
Right. Virtually or face-to-face?
I have no idea. I don't know yet.
Where are you going to be?
I'm going to be in Papillion, so I'm going to Golden Hills. It's about 10 minutes away from my house.
Okay. Interesting. And okay, hi Jocelyn.
Hi. I'm majoring in elementary ed and early childhood, and then I will student teach in fall of 2021. So next year.
Oh, so you got a year to go. And where are you now?
What?
Where are you now?
I just became a senior.
Where are you though?
Oh, I live in Guide Rock.
Where?
Guide Rock.
Is that in Nebraska?
Yeah, it's like 6 miles from the border of Kansas. It's clear. It's like straight south, like in the middle.
From here, from Kearney?
It's like 40 miles, 45 miles south of Hastings.
Oh, okay. Wow. You know, I've been here for 13 years. I've never been to Kansas. I got to do that sometime. You know, I've been all over the world, but I haven't been to Kansas yet. My sister named Jocelyn, by the way.
Oh.
Okay, Aaron. Aaron, are you a Hainer?
No.
Okay. Okay, welcome anyway.
I'm an elementary education major, and I'll also be student teaching this coming semester in Kearney. So, yeah.
Where?
At Windy Hills.
Wow. Are they planning on being face-to-face?
They haven't told me anything yet, so don't know.
You know, I can see the model where you're there all day and half the kids are there in the morning and zooming, half are zooming, and then the other half come in and the morning half are zooming or something like that.
I've heard different plans, but I don't know what they're doing.
It's because we don't know, you know, we just, this is crazy time. Hannah, welcome.
Hello.
I'm majoring in elementary education and minoring in special education, and then I will student teach in Milford this fall.
Oh, okay. Milford's in Omaha?
Nope. It's kind of by, do you know where Crete is?
Yes, it's an island. It's beautiful. I've been there.
Sadly, it's in Nebraska, this one.
Oh, that Crete. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, if I missed anybody in the, let me look in this gal. Oh, we got some more people. Okay, Megan Blake, welcome.
Hi, I'm Megan, and I am majoring in elementary education, and I will be student teaching in Kearney in the fall at Meadowlark.
All right, welcome. Okay, and Brittany Waldo.
Hi, I am also an elementary education major with a math minor and a coaching minor.
Coaching what?
What's that?
What coaching what?
Hopefully softball or basketball.
Basketball is better.
Okay.
I did it for 20 years. And then when I realized I wasn't good at it, I went back to school and now I'm doing this.
This is fun too.
I tried. Believe me. I tried too hard, actually. And I wish you well. If I could be of any help for the basketball part of it, softball, you got to go outside and stuff like that, and it gets dirty.
Yeah, that's
Basketball,
the fun part.
right? Anyway, and better funded,
Yep.
not like volleyball though. Now
Yeah,
there's
volleyball's
the
fun.
sport,
Yeah.
right? In Nebraska.
Yeah.
Are you in Nebraska?
Yes, I am.
All right, Shelby, welcome.
Hi, I'm an elementary education major and I won't student teach until fall of 2021.
Okay. All right, welcome. And Brightly or Britley?
Britley. Yep. My name is Britley. I'm elementary ed and special ed major, and I'm going to student teach fall of 21.
Okay, welcome to the class. And Tammy.
Sorry. Hi there. I'm a inclusion, or I forgot what it's called. I'm drawing a blank. Early childhood inclusion major. There we go. And I'm actually set to student teach this fall, actually.
Where?
In Nebraska City.
Okay, I don't know. How many people live in Nebraska City?
There's about 7,500, I think.
Okay, that's a pretty wide spot.
Yeah.
Brianna, welcome.
Hello. I'm an elementary ed major as well, K6, and I will be student teaching in spring of 21.
Okay, welcome. And Abby.
Hi. I am an early childhood inclusion major, and I will be student teaching this fall in Omaha.
Okay. Excuse me. Well, welcome everybody. And well, I'm Dr. Jeff Kritzer. My claim is that I come with a lot of war stories. I taught 25 years in LA in a resource room, and I did not do inclusion. In fact, I was never trained in inclusion. And when they tried to implement it at the end of my career, I did not have the skills to do that. So I ran a pull-off program. And I'm a big believer in offering a range of choices to students, not putting everybody in a general ed classroom, just to put everybody in there. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that tonight. And excuse me one second, I got to mute myself. Not COVID. Okay, so anyway, let's look at the class. Does anybody want to ask me any questions?
If we have to do papers, do you want it like single space or double space, or does it
What's
matter?
a paper?
What?
We have no papers. Papers are boring. We have no papers. Is anybody here going to is anybody here want me to tailor the course for you to like heading toward grad school in a research mode? Is that what anybody would like? Everybody wants that? Nobody wants that. Well, you should want somebody should, but anyway, papers are not necessary. I'd rather you make interesting things that show me that you can show your students how to create infographics, mind maps, computer programs that do things like that. You don't have to write a paper. If you want to write a paper, like for example, on a couple of the assignments when you have to reflect and you want to do the traditional Word document, that's fine. Okay? Is that bad? Huh? Yes? Oh. Okay, anybody else? Any other questions? Did you like the mod? Have you liked the modules so far that you've seen? Do you like the fact that you didn't have to spend money on a textbook? Huh? You know, there are courses where there's really good people that have written really good textbooks, but for this one, you have all the, I went through and I got the latest information on inclusion for you, and I hope this works for you. I think that I looked at the programs that everybody took, and basically, raise your hand if you have a special ed background. Does anybody have a special ed background? Is special ed mostly new to everybody? Give me a nod or a hand or a something or I'm trying to, okay, so evidently the course seems to be, let me point out a couple of things about the course and then I'll get to what I want to show you tonight. First of all, this personal learning network, a colleague of mine started making this assignment in their classes, and I'm doing this, but I think this will help you. And right now, you're just getting started, and I understand that you know you have a limited network, but maybe you can develop some contacts and some good websites that interest you through this course. So you make maybe you make some kind of a concept map at the beginning, and then at the end, your final product will be more elaborate with some clickable links. Does that make sense to you? And then I wanted to show you one thing that, you know, I invite you to be a part of my blog, and I really want to encourage you to come into my blog. Can you see my screen? Oh, 1 second. Nobody can see my screen? Oh my goodness, you should have said. Okay, hang on. I'm sorry. My fault. Share screen. Okay. Okay, now, can you see my blog now? Okay, so I would really encourage you to become a part of my group here. And all you have to do to make a comment is to click on it and right here and add a comment. So please do. I can be a part, I'd be more than happy to be a part of your network. Let me get back to other things, this personal learning network assignment. I also think it would be nice if you took a look at this and perhaps made something like this for yourselves as well, using Symbaloo. I'm all about learning new technologies and encouraging my students to do the same thing. Okay, and one other thing I want to show you is, let's go back to home. Okay, you know, this is really a difficult time. And I came across this site to encourage my students to maybe find a cause or two that sort of drives them. A couple of you have started to make really moving videos. And this is not a class in sustainability, but hey, what we have learned in this pandemic is that many people are going to have to step outside of their skill sets a little bit. And so, you know, even, you know, I have a really good friend of mine who's a genetics, I can't even pronounce it, professor at UNLV. He calls me up, Jeff, how do you make a video? I mean, the guy, you know, has been through biology far smarter than I am. A real scientist can't make a video. People need to step outside of their skill sets now. And I'm trying to encourage you, you know, and to do this. It won't take a lot of your time to do a little reflection on a few of these goals. And who knows, maybe that'll end up doing some good for somebody down the line. That's basically it. Each module will open up every week, and there's a discussion thread. Sometimes I reply to you, sometimes I don't. And also, if you need, if you have any questions, for example, I have the course questions link. Where is that? Right there. And I have the course water cooler. Is it okay? You can all see that if you want to talk about something else. So hopefully the course is organized well for you. Are you finding that? Was it okay? So what else did I have on my agenda here? Okay. So let me talk just a little bit about special education, give you a little of my perspective. If I can find my PowerPoint. Okay. There it is. Okay, so if I want to go to slideshow, and I want to go to the from the start. Can you see, everybody see that now? And hear me and everything? So basically, this is what really happens on a in real life in special education in America. You know, one thing about special education that makes our country unique is that even though we're 50 states and we're doing everything our own way in many different things, you can see it with COVID. We have some states are open up, some are shut down, 50 states wanting to do their own thing. We have an exception, and that's special education, because special education is a federal thing. And special education is uniform from the bluest part of California to the reddest part of Southern America. Special education is the same in every town and in every corner. It's different in Thailand, where I go 2-3 times a year to work with Thai teachers. Every province does their own thing. That's what special education was like in America prior to 1975, when we had IDEA, which was called at the time PL 94-142. Anyway, the point is that there are no variations. Everything, same things occur, the same process occurs in every school. The first thing that happens is, how do I make this thing? Oh, the first thing that happens is the teacher notices there's a problem with the child. Like you early childhood inclusive people, you notice that there's something wrong with Johnny. Johnny is squinting, or Johnny isn't doing with the rest of the group, or something. Something is off. You notice it more than once, maybe. Maybe in a couple of settings you notice it. Maybe the parents notice it. And then you identify the child as maybe needing some help. Not special ed. I'm not talking about that at all. Just some help. And then, so you have the child tested. You have the child, but between step 1 and step 2, you're doing all these general ed things. You're having meetings with your team, your problem-solving team. Excuse me, So maybe 3 months trying things. Maybe you try an intervention for 6 weeks. Maybe it doesn't go well. Maybe you try another one for 6 weeks. Then you refer the child for testing. Okay, if you do your job right in general ed, maybe only 15% of your problems, okay, even less, will still be there, so you don't refer everybody. Okay, so the child is tested. And if the child is eligible for services, one thing. If not, back to general ed, try something else. If eligible, what is the eligibility category? What is the category? So we have an IEP meeting, we decide the child is eligible as LD, or maybe early childhood, developmentally delayed. We make a plan, really an extensive plan, and write the IEP and provide the services in special ed, maybe in an inclusive classroom, maybe in a pullout, maybe in a hospital, maybe at home, depending. And then we measure regularly to see how they're doing. You send home a report card in general ed. There's generally going to be a status attachment to it. Then every year, at least once, we have an IEP meeting, review the IEP. Do we need to make changes? How is the child doing? And every 3 years, we have a reevaluation and go through the whole process again. And that occurs in every school, in every school in this country under rigid timelines. But what I really want you to understand is there's a debate, there's a dilemma. There's a debate between inclusion and least restrictive environment. And I grew up in special ed, and when I graduated in 1977, and I got my credential, I think, in '86, it was all about least restrictive environment. It's not about including everybody, because every child, every placement decision should be an individualized decision. I believe that the best possible placement for any child is an inclusive general ed classroom. It's hard to find a good one. So we really need to consider the best setting for that child. The least restrictive environment, to the maximum extent appropriate. We want them in the general ed classroom as much as possible with non-disabled children, as much as possible. But sometimes they need something more restrictive than that. And then it's appropriate, they need to be offered that. It's not a funding issue. Somebody wrote it in a discussion thread. It's not a funding issue. So we offer them a continuum. Every district must offer a continuum of placements, all the way from the inclusion placement to even a special school or a hospital, if appropriate. It's an individualized decision by the IEP team, which includes the parent, the teacher, an administrator, and a few other important or not important people, depending on your viewpoint. So, what you think? Any questions? Anybody still awake? No, that's not very nice. Okay. But I just want you to get the benefit of of my experience, and I want you to go into a meeting, an IEP meeting, with the idea that we're going to be open-minded as to where this child should end up. And if all goes, if we can provide the right services, then we, and I'm going to talk in another class about some of the difficulties involved with inclusion, some of the issues involved with that. Okay, so that's about all I have. Potential spam, let me get rid of that. Anybody have any questions before I let this session go? I hope this was helpful to you. I hope that if you have any other things come up and you have anything that you want to talk about, there is a reflection that assignment, a small reflection assignment, Zoom session 1 on the home page. Okay, is there anything else for the good of the cause?
I have one question.
Please.
So for the first assignments, we just choose one of those options, right? Like the comic or the infographic.
Graphic, a mind map, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Some of them
Just
have
wanna double check
examinations attached to them, and then some of them don't. And so I try to make that mix with that.
Okay.
Okay, and try to make yourself a little bit of a journal, or maybe use your PLN network thing to keep some good websites and some good sites in mind, or maybe some people that you might want to contact as you progress through those modules. They are done by the best people in special education. They are done by IRIS, which is the Peabody School at Vanderbilt, which is like a mecca for us in higher ed, special ed, and also by the NASED. And you're also all now have a membership throughout this course in NASED. So take advantage of some of those modules that might help you, perhaps in the other classes that you're in right now as well. And if that's all if that's it, if anybody has anything else or not, I will wish you a good evening. I'm posting this for people tonight afterwards who weren't able to attend. Good night, everybody.